My gosh, guys, it's time for me to play my favorite game in the whole world. World Conqueror 4 World War II strategy game. Oh boy, let's play. What? An update? What's the update? Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, oh my gosh. It looks the exact same! Let's go! Okay, let's see what's new about this new update. Let's see. They have... Hot metal alert! Okay, yeah. So welcome to the World Conqueror 4 update preview. Well, not preview, it's already out. It's the World Conqueror 4 update review. There we go. So, the game updated this morning for me, and I spent the entire day, just going through it, collecting all the data that I wanted to collect, and now I'm here to make this ultimate banger video for you. So, we'll start off with generals, obviously. We always start off with generals. First off, we have Vasilevsky. He is a decently strong infantry general. Definitely geared towards elite forces, but he can definitely work off elite forces. But you have other generals, infantry generals, that can do that, so there's no point in not making him, geared towards elite forces. Overall, his damage is fine. It can be a little lacking with how much you had to pay to get him, because the scepters and swords, very stingy with ET. You know how they are. They make the rich richer, the poor get poorer type shit. But this guy's fine. He's fine. His extra range when nearby an armored unit, artillery unit, this works with AI, artillery, and tanks. So that's also pretty cool. You could definitely work him with Govorov, so there's a lot of countering going on with Govorov's help. Or you could have another, just some random tank following around him, so we can do range damage like Simo Haya. So that's cool. That's cool. Portrait ranking, I'm gonna give this a solid S tier ranking. This is a very beautiful portrait. I'm going to Nimitz. He's good. He's got some nice damage when as a naval general. A lot of some good damage for your allied carriers. I have been notified that at the time of recording, Typhoon doesn't seem to get buffed by this Knight of the Sea skill, even though it says specifically missiles and nuclear bombs. But Typhoon doesn't get buffed. It could be a bug. It could be intentional. Don't know. Just at the time of recording this, right now, nothing. 80% chance to deal critical attacks when using air or attacking with navy. I did some testing myself, and I have found that the red ribbon doesn't really, at least for navy, the red ribbon doesn't really affect the damage that much. It definitely affects the crit chance, because during my testing, Nimitz critted every single time with the red ribbon on, but without it, he missed a few crits. So it definitely increases crit chance, but crit damage, I take this with a grain of salt, but I don't think it does. In my test, it obviously did a little bit, but nothing really that substantial. As we know, with all these special crit skills, like with Simo Haya, his crit skill doesn't actually give him a damage multiplier, unlike the normal infantry leader. It actually has just a normal 1 times instead of 1.5 times. So perhaps the deep blue resolve doesn't actually get affected by the crit damage of the red ribbon, or maybe it just operates on a different system altogether. So just letting you know. Again, if you have any conflicting evidence that says, oh, actually it does, and a lot, and you're just a fucking moron and a dumbass loser, then please let me know, because I would like to know as well. For skills, Nimitz can do like a lot of things. He could be an air general, he could be a naval general. You know, obviously, his air damage isn't as well. His air damage definitely among the best free to play. But if you're pay to win, I think, and you have like Spruance or McCampbell, you know, those guys, I think it'd be better if you keep Nimitz as a pure naval general and have him just sail around with Spruance and McCampbell. You know, just buff them on the carriers. But if you're free to play, you can definitely use them as a air general. As for Vasilevsky, I really think this is like the only thing you can run if you want to maximize damage. If you want some rumor protection, obviously do inspiration. If you just want raw damage, do inferior victory. Or if you're crazy, you can do dominance. It technically has the highest damage output. Other skills you could do on Nimitz, like this is what I have. I just have the generic inspiration, inferior victory. You could do something like you could get some more. You get sailor, you get camouflage, you know, just some defensive skills. It's up to you. If you're not intentionally being stupid, there's not really a right or wrong way to build Nimitz, you know? The new armored EF, the Hive tactical vehicle, from what I've been told, the Jeep itself can attack. It gains 2 range at level 5, by the way. The Jeep itself can attack, and it uses tank stats. But the drones use air stars. Now, there are quite a few generals you can use. A generic air general, you know, when you don't really care about the Jeep damage. But, hear me out. Montgomery. Now, Montgomery will give you a decent damage output when using the Jeep's attack, because you have 6 stars, you'll have his bio, you'll get crossfire when it's being attacked, so we can do extra damage along with plane fighting, you know, it's just the little things that add up. And then, with the 5-star air, you can do Air Force Leader and either carpet bombing to really prioritize the air damage, or Armored Assault to increase the Jeep's damage. But I don't think that's really needed, the Armored Assault, because the Jeep doesn't have attack again. The drones are the main part of the Jeep, but if you want to, you know, just bump up the damage of the Jeep a little bit more, you know, but also still having good air damage, and I think Montgomery is the best, because his bio will affect the drone, giving him extra speed and just a little bit extra damage. Now, I know, crazy, I know, I have a lot of crazy ideas, but if you think just a normal air general would be better, go right ahead, but I think I might do this, just because it'd be funny. But yeah, that's a drone. It looks fun. I haven't been able to try it yet. Obviously, I don't think anyone's been able to. I'm hoping in the new armor group that's coming soon, we'll be able to test it out.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
So, hoping for that. Legend mode offers some fun missions, a lot of units to kill. And once you do that, you get these buffs that can be used in the Legend mode itself. Conquest or Army Group. Let's run them over real quick. Ghost Division gets 3 mobility. Armored units get 2% damage when units within 2 hexes of Ghost Division are nearby. Infantry can move again after another Ghost Division unit kills while the infantry unit is 1 tile nearby. And artillery just gain extra damage when an infantry unit is nearby of the Ghost Division. Spearhead. All units get plus 10 damage. Tanks get extra crit damage if a friendly infantry spearhead unit is 1 tile nearby. Infantry gets super fast, and artillery receive less damage when an infantry unit of spearhead is nearby them. And the Taman division, this is probably the worst one. 10% dodge chance, no embarking penalty, which is good. It's like cool, but like this the whole thing, the whole Taman division, it's very niche. I think that goes for all of these divisions to an extent. They're all sort of niche. They can only be used in Legend mode, and even then, you can't use the spearhead or the Ghost division in the Talmon division because they're nation locked. Only America can use the Spearhead, only Germany can use the Ghost division, and only Russia can use the Talmon division. So it's not really that useful in Legend. You might as well just cross it out because, like, obviously, for Conquest, I think it can be good early game. Obviously, you're more focused. You know, your front isn't massive and everything. But once you start getting to like the mid to end game of a Conquest, you won't really be noticing these buffs because most of them are range dependent. You have to have someone nearby someone else, and when you just keep moving and driving forward, one's gonna probably lag behind. You know, it could be the tank, it could be the infantry, but something is gonna lag behind. And if it isn't, sometimes you'll have to sacrifice maximum movement to gain a little bit extra damage. Army group, same thing, but army groups beginning or just like having to deal with everything, especially during Blazing Dunes on the eastern front of Africa, that'll be really useful. But same thing with army group, as you expand more and more, things are going to definitely start lagging behind. So, but if I had to rank each division, I'd say Talmon is definitely the worst. Obviously, it's very niche. Just like outside of Conquest and Armor Group, the whole thing itself is very niche. Ghost Division is probably the best. Ghost Division, all units just get faster, and so that's nice. The damage is very useful early game, and then as even in mid to late game, you might still be able to get some bonuses from the infantry perk. It could help with taking cities and everything pretty quickly. But Spearhead definitely has more damage. So if you want a little bit more damage, Spearhead is the best. But if you want more speed overall, the Ghost Division is the best. And, you know, this armored unit is really good. You know, this armored unit buff, critical damage, really strong. Too bad it uses the 2 worst if tank EFs in the game. Okay, well, maybe not the 2 worst. We can definitely say for certain that T-44 is worse than Abrams, but Abrams in of itself is not like the best. You know, if you had to rank the top 4 tank elite forces, obviously there's King Tiger, there's T-72, there's IS-3, and then Abrams is the 4th one. You know, it's the worst of the best. You know, but like that doesn't mean Abrams is awesome. You know, it's okay, you know. It's definitely better than the other tanks left, the Centurion and Pershing and T-44, but is that more because the Abrams is good, or because the Centurion, Pershing, and T-44 are bad, you know? So yeah, but overall, these are nice. They were fun to play with. They definitely highlighted every single buff that the units could get, especially Talmon division. You use that disembark and embark no penalty a lot. So I gotta commemorate ET on that. The missions really highlighted the buffs. So very good missions. I enjoyed all of them. Even the ones that are very spammy and just like, a slog of killing everything, you know. Very fun, very enjoyable. And then the last thing that the update added was just increase the conquest pass just a tad bit more, so you can get 15 fragments of the drone EF. So overall, my opinions on this update, it was fine. It was fine. I think the generals, Vasilevsky and Nimitz, they're definitely going to be overhyped a bit. They're not bad, but worth the price? Not sure. I think, you know, as free to play, you were very tight on batons. So you have to be very careful with what you're picking for your next trainable general, right? So are these guys so important, like so impactful to the game that you like these need to be your next personages, you know? I don't think so. I don't think Vasilevsky or Nimitz changed so much of the game that they'll be you know, priority purchases. I think De Gaulle and Rokoskowski, Patton, Govorov, you could argue, those guys are definitely the big ones. So these guys impact the game a lot. I mean, the Auchinleck and Tito also there, but Tito is extremely expensive for just just some extra eco, as I stated before in my other videos. And Alkenlek, what he does is awesome, you know, taking down fortresses very quickly, but outside of that, he's not that useful. Like, even against boss generals, it's if you want to rumor the general, why don't you just take the Gaul, and the Gaul can do a lot more than just rumor, you know? Alkenlek is all about that damage over time thing against fortresses. So, niche, those two are niche. The other four guys, those are more like, they just do a lot more things instead of just one thing that they're really good at. So I don't think Nimitz and Vasilevsky are going to be priority purchases for free-to-play players, but if you do want to get one of them, I think as a pay-to-win player, if you have Spruance or McCampbell, I think Nimitz will be more worth your while because he'll be buffing the elite carriers and whatnot. Meanwhile, Vasilevsky is just, I'm just a strong infantry general. Not bad, but I think you have more than enough options for infantry already, you know, that aren't as expensive. So yeah, and if you're free to play, I think Nimitz is less useful for that air role because your air core isn't going to be as strong as a pay to win's air core will be. But Nimitz is also a strong naval general. He has damage that is similar to Kuznetsov and Yamaguchi's because they all have naval assault. Well, Nimitz sort of has it. He doesn't get the regen from naval assault, but he has the damage buff from naval assault. But yeah, that's everything, I think. As you can see, yeah, Lost Toll. Oh, it's here. Well then, let's see if the drones are here. I remember in the screenshot that the Hive, the drone, the Hive drone, whatever, was used by Canadian forces. So let's see, is it here? Okay, I'm sad now. No nation has Hive. Very disappointing, but let me just talk about the event itself. I always enjoyed a scenario like this. This is Man in a High Castle-esque scenario. I really digged it. I really dig it. We got all these guys. We got the Soviets. We got Cuba and Mexico. We got America. We got Canada. We even have some South Korea right here. France, some British, and we got the big bad axis. We got Japan. We got Germany. We got Italy. Oh man. Let's look at this guy. Oh, look at these. Oh my gosh. This is really cool. I've always enjoyed, I always enjoyed Armored Group. Playing is a different story, but I always enjoyed the idea and the story that it tells, you know, without having to say it outright. It's always fun for me. It's always fun looking at the generals, seeing what's changed and everything, seeing, you know, any different skills. This is kind of a banger set, not gonna lie. And also just checking out the units, and that's, yeah, using the units. It's always fun to try them out. Units that you don't have that you want to try out. Armored Group will most of the time have the unit, and you can test and you can field test it. And that's what I really like about Armored Group the most. You can field test the new elite forces. Well, I would say so, but they don't have 5. This is probably going to be the biggest slog of all the Armored Groups so far. Like, man, I thought Dune was slow. This is going to be way slower. But hey, more chances to test out the divisions. I dig it. No doubt the Scorpions are probably going to join from an event. Maybe Russia will split with Cuba and Mexico. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe once the front is once the fronts are connected, you know, Germany, Japan meet. Maybe they become enemies. Who knows? A lot of things to happen. I wonder, is Hive one of the rewards? It is. You probably won't get enough to unlock Hive. Maybe. I think if you have the Conquest Pass, if you have the Conquest Pass completed fully, and you're lucky, you might be able to unlock Hive pretty early. That means you have to, like, beat it entirely. So yeah. What are the speedruns? Use Aztec Sun Legion to capture Mexico City within 15 turns. Use the British Excalibur groups to capture New York. Oh, these are cool. Those are really good. Those are really cool. Instead of speed runs. Well, it is speedrun, but isn't speedrun a nation like Bulgaria? Conquering a city rather quickly. That's actually really cool. I like that. I like that. That's pretty cool. Get Mexico in 15 turns. Britain to New York in 10. I dig that. That's really cool. I also have a bit of confusion on this whole scale limit and inclusion limit. I don't know what that means, but check it. You can like convert 6 guys into Ghost Division. You have 6 right here, but you can't. But like maybe if you have to wait a little bit longer to get 10 more, I don't know. But still, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I was disappointed in one thing, and that's this, or the lack thereof. The purple generals don't have their skill swaps yet. I might redo the whole, not redo, but remake the whole general ranking once the purples get their skill swapped. I might do that, an all-encompassing video on all the generals, free to play and pay to win, discussing them all, and then ranking like the top 5 or like top 7 of each unit, because including the pay to win. Could be very cool. Could be very cool. Talking about which skill would be the best on Osborne, you know, which skill would be the best on Tolby, you know, all that stuff. Yeah. So look forward to that. I will probably do the skill tier list, the biggest slop of all, probably this week. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. No promises. But yeah. Hope you enjoy. See ya.